All right, so we will be, I don't want to go over on any review materials right now, but I just want to get started on the 1.5, evaluating function, okay? Now, we have already used the word function in the last previous, right? What is function? The vertical line test, you guys remember that. This is from 1.4, relation and function. We talked about domain, range, and then what's function, right? What kind of a requirement you need to meet in order for relation to be called as function, okay? You guys remember that? Again, we will take some time tomorrow and Thursday to review all the materials, okay? And then we will go from there. So let's talk about this, okay? So first of all, you probably have dealt with this function notation already. So let's write this down. Up to this point, or I don't know if you have used already function notation like this one. Have you guys used that before? F of x, or it doesn't need to be always f. It could be g of x. Have you seen something like this before? Okay, and those are called a function notation. Okay, and essentially it's just a different way of writing. Before, when you write the equation, you've got always the two variables, right? X and Y. And you will write a function as y equals, so for example, 2x plus 1. And that's a linear function, right? And y equals mx plus b. You guys remember that? And instead of using y, you can use the function notation, which is like f of x right here. Okay. And you're going to read this f parentheses x as f of x. Okay. That's how you read it. Okay. So that's the reading part of it. And so what is f of x? Does that mean oftentimes I've had the question or comments saying, hey, Mr. Takari, does that mean it's f times x? I mean, parentheses, it means multiply, right? But it doesn't mean any of that, okay? It's just a notation. First of all, it's very important to remember that f of x is same thing as y. So for some textbook, some tests, some teachers, your professor in college math class, they will maybe sometimes write y equals 2x plus 5. Or sometimes your teacher will write f of x equals 2x plus 5. It's the same thing. Okay? Y and f of x are same thing. It's just a different way of writing it. Okay, that's the first thing. You need to remember that. It's a very simple fact, but you often forget. Okay, and next, what does that mean, right? What does f of x means? Okay? It means something like this. Okay, when you talk about function notation, I want you to think of it in terms of like a vending machine. Now, when you use a vending machine, you've used vending machine before, right? Isn't there a place that you put your coin or money, right? And then you push a button, and then at the bottom, something comes out. Okay. In other words, there is a place, a slot where you can put money in, and there's a product comes out. Okay. In other words, there's an input and then there's an output. Right. And a function is kind of the same thing as the vending machine, where there's an input and there's an output. Now, for this, so for example, here's a vending machine or a function, and let's say I'm going to put 3. So I'm going to put 3 into the function. Now, what happens to that? Now, each function has sort of the programming or the brain of the function. And the programming for this function is 2x plus 1. Okay. Now, when you put 3, whatever you put in will take the place of x, because input is an x value. So if I put 3, the 3 will take place of the x. So the x will become 3, in other words. So now you're going to do 2 times 3, because it's 2 times x, right? 2x. So now it becomes 2 times 3 plus 1. So what do you think of the output is going to be? So 2 times 3 is 6. Very good. And then 6 plus 1, 7. So 7 comes out. When you put 3 into the machine, 7 came out at the bottom. Input and an output. And input is the x value, and the output is the y value. Okay. Again, when we were talking about function, right, there are always 2 variables, x and y, okay? X value and y value. And there, for each x value, you've got the y and y value, right? For x value, you get y value. And then to indicate all of that, you can write this. So the function f of x equals 2x plus 1, right? And that's the, then you can specify any, the input, where we tried 3 as an input. So you can write f of 3 is going to be equal to 2 times 3 plus 1, in which you will get 7. In other words, f of 3 is 7, meaning that when the input is 3, the output is going to be 7. And that's what the function notation is. Function notation is able to describe what the input is and what the output is in one equation. And you were not able to do that if you were using just a y equals 2x plus 1. Okay. But if you use the function notation, it is clear what the input is, what the output is going to be. Okay. And so when you talk about more complicated function, it's very convenient to use a function notation because it tells you what the input is, what the output is for both x and y value. Okay. I don't know. Am I making any sense to you? So let's do a couple of problems. Okay. So we're just going to evaluate functions. Okay. Does anybody need any more time of writing this down? You guys okay? All right. So here it is. Let's do a couple of problems before we do the assignment. So here's a function, f of x equals 3x plus 4. And then I want to find f of 2. Meaning simply means f of 2 means I want you to put 2 into a function. That's what f of 2 means. Okay. Put 2 into a function. Input is going to be 2. What is the output? Okay. Again, input is 2. Now, what is the output? That's what really the function, the question is all asking. So when input is 2, input is the x value, right? In other words, you're going to basically all the x's will turn into 2. So you've got 3 times 2 plus 4, which is, what is that? You get 10. Okay. And that's it. You don't need to rewrite it. Okay. But so f of 2 equals 10, meaning, okay, what does that mean? Can you describe that? F of 2 equals 10 means that when input is 2, the output is going to be 10. In other words, when x is 2, y value is going to be 10. You get that? Again, input is the x value, output is the y value. That's right, it will be 210 on the graph. That's right, very good. Okay. You don't have to use F. It's just letter F is just arbitrary letter. You can use any letter, but F is used quite a bit, probably the most. But you will see, for example, this question, g of x, h of x, or t of x. You will see all kinds of function letter. Okay. Sometimes when you're talking about throwing a projectile, you're describing the height of the object thrown into the air, like an upside down parabola. Then oftentimes, yeah, they use the h because h as in height, right? So sometimes people you use a certain letter for describing certain function, but it could be g or it could be r, it could be anything. Okay, when the equation is describing about time, then oftentimes t of x, t is used, right? Anyway, so this one is a g function, and I want you to figure out g of -3. Okay, do you guys want to try this all by yourself first? Let's see if you can get the right answer here. What's a g of -3? Well, let's do this one together first, okay? And then the next one, you do this one on your own. So when you put -3 into a function machine, right, vending machine, -3 will replace all the x's because -3 is x value. Input is x value. So it will become -2 times -3 squared minus 3 times -3 plus 1. So again, -3 replaces all the x's because -3 again is an input, which is the x value. So yeah, very good. Let's see how it goes. Let's keep going. Now we've got to take care of the square exponent. Okay? -3 squared is +9. -3 squared, that's -3 times -3, that's +9, right? So it's -2 times 9. -3 times -3 is +9. -2 times 9 is -18. Plus 9 plus 1. So what do you get? -8. So g of -3 equals -8. Very good. Why don't you try g of -5? Still the same function. Right here. So why don't you try that? 1 minute. And would you share your answer in the chat? What's a g of -5? Again, it simply means you're going to insert -5 into a function for x value. What will be the output? Y value. Anybody get it? Anybody? Francisco, thank you. Gentry, thank you. Havy, very good. Let's try and see, okay? So g of negative 5 is going to be equal to negative 2 times negative 5 squared minus 3 times negative 5 plus 1. Yeah? This is going to be positive 25. So it's going to be negative 2 times 25. And again, negative 3 times negative 5 is positive 15 plus 1. Negative 2 times negative 25. That's, what is that? Negative 50 plus 15 plus 1. What is that? Negative 35, negative 35, negative 34. Yeah. Did you guys get negative 34? How did it go? Yeah. Okay, how about the next one? G of 0. Can you put 0 into a function? What happens? Usually 0 as an input is easy to evaluate because you can kind of do this all in your head, but let me write it down. It's negative 2 times, again, it's the same function. It's this function we're still dealing with. It's the same vending machine, okay? Now this time we're gonna put 0 into a machine. So you put 0 minus 3 times 0 plus 1. So what's gonna happen here? Well, 0 squared. Well, 0 squared is still 0. And then 0 times negative 2, that's a 0. And negative 3 times 0 is a 0. So what do you have left? Yeah, 1 comes out, right? So evaluating function with a 0 as an input is usually easy question there. Okay. Now, have you done this before? Have you used function notation? Can you guys indicate yes, no? You must have done this in Algebra 1, right? Maybe. Okay, very good. So you've seen this before, yeah. Um, Now, why are we doing this? Well, it's very important that we are comfortable evaluating functions because we're going to use this a lot. Okay, this skill comes up over and over. Okay, next unit we're going to talk about quadratic function. Okay, it's the parabola U-shape graph, and we're going to evaluate functions. When x is 1, what is y value, right? So you're going to do f of 1, right? When x is 2, what's y value? Will it create the U shape, right? So we're going to do that quite a bit, and I want you to be comfortable evaluating functions, okay? So that's all I have. And so let's just get on to the assignment portion of the class, okay? It's a very short assignment. There are only 4 different functions. And then I want you to evaluate each function. So there are 3 problems for each, okay? Now let's start with number 1, okay? So please write down, just continue on your notes. Let's write down homework 1.5, evaluating function. Okay, let's start with the number 1. So first question is f of -5. We're going to insert -5 into the function. Okay. So that means all the x's, or in this case, there's only one x, will be replaced with whatever you are putting in. In this case, it's -5. So it's going to be -3 times -5 plus 5. And that's going to be, what is that? 15. -3 times -5 is positive 15. So positive 15 plus 5, right? It's going to be 5. Okay. So when the input is 5, -5, the output is going to be positive 5. F of 0, if the input is 0, what is going to be the output? Output is going to be, again, it's going to be, oh, wait a second. It's a 15. No, why did I put 5? It's 20, right? I'm sorry, guys. I'm really off, way off. So the first one is 20. And then for B, thank you, Gentry, it will be, it's just going to be 5. I'm not even going to write that, because if you put 0 in x, what's -3 times 0? Isn't that just 0? So what do you have left? It's 5, right? And so if it is as easy as this question, you don't have to write it down. F of 0 is 5. When input is 0, it means when input is 0, output is 5. Again, that's what this means, a function means, okay? F of 0 equals 5. What does that mean? When input is 0, output is going to be 5. Okay, that's what that means. It doesn't mean f times 0. It's not multiplication. It's a function notation. Next, how about f of 4? Maybe you guys some of you are already done. Now this one, let's write it down. -3 times x becomes 4, right? -3 times 4 plus 5. It's -12 plus 5. What is that? -7. Very good, Haley. So when input is a 4, output is -7. Or when x is 4, y value is -7. Okay? You guys with me? Number 2. So here's a different function. Now it's got it's a cubic function, x to the third. So let's try that. So I'm going to do the first one, or go along with me here. 2 times -1 to the third power plus 1. Now what's -1 to the third power? That's a -1 times -1 times -1. It's a -1 times -1 times -1. -1 times -1 is +1, but +1 times -1 is back to -1. Okay. So it is 2 times -1 plus 1, which is -2 plus 1. Which is -1. All right. Yeah, does that make sense? Why don't you try the next one? How about f of -3? Okay, how did it go, guys? So it'll be, let's change the color. 2 times -3 to the third power plus 1. If you have a hard time evaluating, just use a calculator. But make sure that you put parentheses, okay? -3 to the third power. And that's a -27. Yeah? You guys get that? So it is 2 times -27 plus 1. Now, 2 times -27 is, what is that? -54. Okay, so -54 plus 1 is -53. Okay, who's got -53? Did you get that? Is it hard? Is it easy? How are you feeling, guys? Okay, let's try f of 5. Again, still same function. Hang on just a second. Okay, what did you guys get? You get 2 times 5 cubed plus 1. You gotta do 5 to the third power first, okay? That's 5 times 5 times 5. That's 25 times 5. 125, yeah? So it's 2 times 125 plus 1. And 2 times 125 is 250, yeah? So it's 250 plus 1, 251. Yeah, did you guys get that? How are you guys doing so far? Okay, very good. Let's keep going, okay? Again, you don't have to wait for me. Just keep going, and then if you could wait so that you can check your solutions, okay? Answer when we finish it, okay? Just moving on. Next one. Next function is this. It's a quadratic function. So I want you to figure out f of negative 3. Do you want to try that first by yourself? I'll give you 1 minute. So let's figure out. Hang on a second. なんかすごい聞こえてる。ちょっともうプラスや。Okay. Negative 2 times negative 3 squared plus 7 times negative 3 minus 11. Yeah. So first step is to insert negative 3 into all the x's. Okay, right there and right there. Negative 3 squared is positive 9. Okay. So you've got to do negative 2 times 9. And 7 times negative 3, we can already do that. That's negative 21. And then we've got minus 11. Negative 2 times 9 is negative 18. So it's negative 18 minus 21 minus 11. And that will be, again, take out your calculator if you're not, confident or not too, about adding and subtracting integers. Just use a calculator. Negative 18 minus 21, that's negative 39. And then subtract 11, so that would be negative 50. Yeah, did you get that? Negative 50 is your answer. Okay. Next question, f of 1. That should be a little bit easier. Will be, what is it? Negative 2 times 1 squared, which is 1, plus 7 times 1, which is still 7, minus 11. So it's going to be negative 2 plus 7 minus 11. That's 5. So 5 minus 11, what is that? Negative 6? Negative 6 should be the output. And the last one for this question, f of 2. Actually, do you want to try that? What's f of 2? Okay, so I'm going to get started on this. It's going to be negative 2 squared plus 7 times 2 minus 11. Let's take care of the exponent. It's going to be negative 2 times 4, right? 2 squared is 4. 2 times 2. And 7 times 2 is 14. Negative 2 times 4, that's negative 8. Yeah, very good. Negative 8 plus 14 is, what is that? That's a 6. That's positive 6. 6 minus 11 is negative 5. Negative 5. Okay. Okay, last 3 questions, guys. Almost done. Okay. Now, this one has a fraction in it, but it's a linear function. So let's see how it goes, okay? I'll show you how to do that with a fraction. Okay, so the first one, f of negative 3 right here. Okay. So first you're going to insert negative 3 into x. So it's going to be 2 over 3 times. Now, x is negative 3, right? Now I'm going to write negative 3 in fraction form because we've got fraction here. What's negative 3 in fraction form? It is, isn't it, negative 3 over 1, right? And minus 6. Now, how do you multiply two fractions? When you multiply, how do you multiply 2 over 3 times negative 3 over 1? You multiply straight across, okay? It's not about cross multiplication. You just simply multiply straight across. That's multiplying two fractions. 2 times negative 3 is, that's a negative 6. And then 3 times 1 is 3. But what's negative 6 over 3? What's negative 6 divided by negative 3? Negative 6 divided by 3. Isn't that negative 2? Yeah? So that's a negative 2 minus 6, which is negative 8. Uh-huh. Okay, next one, f of 0. That's going to be an easy one because 2 over 3 times 0 minus 6. Now, what's 2 over 3 times 0? Isn't that 0? Anything times 0 is 0, isn't it? It doesn't matter whether it's a fraction or integers, rational number, irrational number. Pi times 0 is a 0, right? So it's just going to be negative 6. Okay, you try the last question. How about f of 9? Give you 1 minute. And that's going to be it for today, okay? You guys want to share the f of 9 in the chat? What do you get? Very good, Francisco. Anybody else? Okay, very good, Mia. Thank you. Anybody else? Okay, let's try. So it's going to be 2 over 3 times x, but x is now going to be 9, right? And I'm going to write 9 as 9 over 1. And then minus 6. Now, how do you multiply two fractions again? Just multiply straight across. 2 times 9, 3 times 1. So that's 18 over 3. But what's 18 divided by 3? Isn't that 6? So you've got 6 minus 6. So that would be 0. Okay. How did you guys do on this assignment? Are you getting the same numbers as mine? Okay. It's very important that you fix each mistake, okay? Please take a time to take a look at your work and how we did it and see if it's matching. Okay, if it's not matching, let's take a time to fix those problems. Okay. So that's all I have for today. And this is actually the end of the unit 1. Okay. Again, for next 2 days, Wednesday and Thursday, we're just going to review. Okay. Everything that we've done so far. We've done 5 sort of subtopics for this unit. So we will take 2 days of a review on Wednesday and Thursday. And then on Friday, we will meet in class first, but we will take a test on Friday. Okay? So, okay, very good. Okay. So that's all I have for today. If you would like to receive any extra help, if you have any questions you want to ask me, please stay and you can talk to me. The rest of the class time is more of a tutoring time. Okay. So with that, have a great day, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Okay. Take care, guys. Have a great day, guys. Thank you, Crystal. Thank you. Have a great day, guys.